What's up, party people? On today's video, I wanted to do something a little different. When we moved into this home in January of 2021, there was a specific bedroom that I was so excited to turn into a home studio. Now with that came a lot of hardware things. I built some racks into the closet. I built a whole synthesizer studio in the closet. And I've done a lot of work in the studio in general to make it feel home and to make some place that I want to produce. But one thing that was a challenge for me was acoustic treatment. I knew nothing about acoustic treatment going into this. I worked with my mentor, Lenny Kaiser, a little bit, and he kind of advised some overall things that I should be looking out for. But ultimately, I was pretty lost. I'd watch YouTube videos and I didn't really know what to do. That's when I found GIK Acoustics. Now this video is in no way sponsored by GIK. I have paid for everything at full price that you've seen here today. There's no Brent 10 for 10% off discount, none of that. But the cool thing about GIK, what I wanted to give them a shout out, is when I was starting this journey, I emailed them and James Lindenschmidt emailed me back. I love you, James. Thank you so much for all your help. And he advised exactly what I should do in the studio to make it my own. And the best part is he didn't upsell me. And if anything, he actually told me that I could probably reduce some of the things that I wanted to do because it was a little overkill. And ever since then, I've been working with James to kind of piece out the studio slowly to build however I want to build it. Now, the cool thing about GIK is they make everything to order. So everything you're seeing here, I got to pick the fabric from all of these things. I got to pick the sizing and shapes of everything I wanted to do to the sizing that they had on site. And it was just a really fun process. And I was able to do this slowly. So in no way did I order everything at once and then got everything at once. I was able to kind of pick and choose and eventually build up this studio. And over the past year and almost a year and a half, I've been able to put together the ideal studio I want. Now, this is in no way complete. I still have a lot of work to do. But what you're seeing behind me and what I showed you earlier in the video are two 244 bass traps from GIK Acoustics. Now, these are great sound diffusion panels. They also can be scattered panels, whatever you want to use them for. They have different accessories that they can put inside for you, and you can do all that through the website. But today, I want to show you where I'm going to mount these, the decisions I made into the studio, and talk a little bit overall about my journey putting this studio together. So if you guys like this video, please give it a like. Please subscribe down below. I'm trying to grow my fan base. I hope you guys like this video and want to see more of these videos. But let's go ahead and dive into the studio tour. So we're going to start off with the wall that's behind the speakers. Here you can see I have two Adam A7Xs. There you go. I'm trying to cover this light so it doesn't blind you. And behind them, I have two 244s as well. All of the beige panels you'll see, I think they're called Bone in the Guilford of Maine fabric collection they have. All the panels you'll see today are 244s. Now these have scatter plates installed with them, meaning that they'll take the sound and scatter it versus just absorbing it. From what I understand, again, I'm not an expert, but this is ideal for when you don't want sound necessarily to just die out. You might want it to bounce around and diffuse the room. So I think that's why they're behind the speakers. Now, one thing you'll see, it covers up my window by a lot, right? I actually lose a lot of my window. Originally, when I put these here 6 months ago, I was like, I don't need a window. But actually, I really do miss the window, and I miss being able to shut the blinds because I can't even reach them. And also, my cats like to go behind each one of the panels, and from there, they kind of mess it up because I had to mount these with L brackets, which is kind of a weird way of doing it. I'm going to show you how I mount it with the inbuilt string for the new panels. But yeah, so ultimately what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to ditch these and get some smaller ones. I'm actually looking at putting one at the top here, which is exactly what I did on the other side of the studio, which I'll show you just in a second. But yeah, so 244 is back here. And then let me see if I can just shift this. Oh yeah, perfect. So then what you'll see here are the bass traps. These are two of the soffit, I believe you say, soffit, I'm not sure. These bass traps are amazing. I originally just got 3 of them for the bottom layer, and I immediately heard a difference, especially with my subwoofer on. The bass just became tight. It wasn't booming throughout the whole room anymore, and I was actually able to turn the subwoofer down because the bass was being so contained. So ultimately, these guys are great. They're definitely pricey, and I think they're one of the more expensive bass traps they have, and I have 2 in each pillar minus the door. Sorry, 2 in each corner to make a pillar besides the door, but they are amazing. I can't recommend these enough. Let's pivot over here to get the sidewalls from the listening positions now. So what you can see here, you still following me? Great. Is I have 2 of these bad boys right here. And actually, let's just zoom out the camera a little bit. There you go. So what I have here is I have 2 more 244s. Now these are just acting to absorb the sound around the listening position. If you guys have ever done any research on acoustic treatment, you'll know this really cool trick about a listening position where you sit in the listening position and you use a mirror to try to find your speaker's reflection points. Luckily, mine were very close together, so I was able to just put 2 right side by side here. The other thing you may have noticed is all these 244s work amazing for toy shelves. I love collecting toys, one of my favorite things. I love Evangelion. You'll probably see a lot of Evangelion Evas around here in their boxes out in display. You can see you can see the purple unit right there. I'm blanking on the name right now. I think it's Unit 1, right? Unit 1? Unit 1. As well as some other ones up here. But the cool thing about all these, you'll see shortly, is they can just go directly into drywall. You don't need studs to mount these. And that is probably one of the best features of these bad boys. No studs means ultimate flexibility, and it means bad Brent the Toolman Taylor, because I am in no way a home improvement kind of guy. I'm able to still put these up. And I'm sorry I made a home improvement joke. I'm really sorry if you're younger than, what does that be, like 25. You probably never even heard of that show. Let's move on. So I'm just gonna twist it again here because this is actually working pretty well. And I have one more soffit in this corner. Soffit, again, I don't know how to say it, but I have actually a pillar here. So I have two connected right here, okay? So you'll notice I have a little bit of dead space right here. Now this dead space I'm planning to fill with the 244s that we bought today. One here and then one on the other side, which we'll get to in a second. Now, again, the soffits are amazing. I explained them a lot earlier, but they're just really big, heavy, bad boys. They're great. Let's move on now, and this guy's a little hidden. But you can see here, I have built a synthesizer rack inside my closet wall. Let's get this back a little bit here. There you go. And you can see I've actually built a whole rack. Up here, you've got racks, network racks I installed in the closet. Here we have just a bunch of synthesizers. Overall, I love hardware. Hardware is one of my most favorite things in the world. I can't get enough of it, so I've been collecting ever since I started producing, since I was like 18. Now, what you can see is back here, behind this acoustic treatment, is there's two more 242s. Actually, I'm sorry, these are the monster bass traps. These are the bad boys. So originally, I wanted to put them right here, right in front of everything, and I kind of wanted to build rollers and move them. But after talking with my mentor, Lenny Kaiser, I realized that's not the best move. Instead, what I could do is just put them behind and kind of get the best of both worlds. Yeah, there's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I was literally putting them here and then not using my synthesizers. At that point, I realized no matter what, no matter how cool the acoustics are, it's not going to help. So I mounted them back. These each have scatter plates, just like the ones in the front, to help disperse the sound. And ultimately, it sounds pretty good. If I'm standing right here, I definitely notice bass buildup, but overall, this is not the listening position. This is the goof around position. Over there is the listening position, so it's okay if this doesn't sound perfect. Okay, now I'm gonna show you this new little one I've kind of developed here. So this is kind of an interesting one, and what this guy is I actually couldn't mount one on the door right here. So what I did is I put two of their monster bass traps, they're thin guys, right on the top wall, right? So let's see if we can get a better view of that. Awesome. This is kind of a weird video. I'm sorry that I'm kind of going guerrilla here, but I think it's working out pretty well. So what you can see here are two of their, I think these are 12 by 48s. They're just about half the width of the normal ones, and they're a little thicker because they're monster bass traps. They're the same thickness as the ones behind the synthesizer studio. But these guys work great. It's amazing how well these actually help with bass traps just by being on the ceiling. I read somewhere on a forum on Gear, oh man, they changed their name. I can't remember their new name. I'm not gonna say the old name because we don't do that anymore. But on that old forum called Gear Blank, you put them up here and then you just leave a little bit of gap at the very top. So the cool thing about these guys is I mounted these with the L brackets I explained earlier. There's a little lip inside each of these panels, and you can actually fit an L bracket and a bolt and a nut under that lip and just let them sit under there. So great, it's kind of a hack, but it works pretty well. And now you can see here, there's nothing else I can do over here because of the door itself. So I just put some posters, some artwork, and yeah, that's about it for that back half. Now, one more pivot here, right here. I'm gonna scoot it back one more time. Is the last wall. And you can see here, just like the other side, I have a blank space right here, which is where the other 244 is gonna go today. I've made sure not to put any of the pictures I have over that space, so it'll be nice and clear. And I just have two more in the listening position, and then the final soffit bass trap right there. So yeah, I'm in no way done because there's one element missing here, and that is the ceilings. I have not treated the ceilings at all. So luckily I was talking to James actually earlier today, James from GIK, and I emailed him and explained, hey, I'm not liking this. I really don't like my window covered up anymore. I'm kind of getting over it, but these have scatter plates. Where's the best place to put them if they have scatter plates? All the other ones don't have scatter plates. If I put these somewhere, it's gonna ruin the sound. And he explained I can just put them right in the ceiling up here. So boom, right in the back, because it'll be in the back, it'll be behind the listening position, and it'll just help kind of disperse the sound. So ultimately, after today, I've got 2 more things to do. One is to get more of these guys and put them on the sides of the window and maybe at the top of the window. I haven't decided yet. And then ultimately get another set of 244s and put them right there on the ceiling using their ceiling cloud brackets. So yeah, that was basically the current studio tour and the thought and methodology behind everything I've done. Again, it's taken a long time, and full disclosure, GIK takes a while to make their stuff. It's all great, but some of the stuff can take 3-4 months to come in, and that's cool, that's okay, because they're that packed and they're that busy. Also COVID, a lot of things are going on. I doubt it's usually 3 or 4 months, but this stuff is good stuff, guys. Like, unless you're gonna build this on your own or find another great vendor, GIK is awesome. Again, no sponsorship, I'm just a fanboy. Okay, so we talked about all of this. Let's get to mounting the actual pieces. To mount them, we're gonna use the OOK mounts. I love these ones for the 244s because they're 50 pounds, so clearly they're fine. I don't have to worry too much about weight issues. They work fine in the drywall too. And also, I've been able to put toys on all of these guys too to add a little bit of weight, which I really like too. So yeah, they recommend on their website, GIK Acoustics, OOK, and originally I thought I had to order these. I got these from my local True Value, which you'll see here. But ultimately, I went to the store, picked these up. They're about $5 for 2, and that's all you need to mount these. It's just a pair of these guys. So it makes it pretty darn easy. Okay, that's enough for this really long cut. I apologize, you guys have seen me spin around this studio, but now we're gonna go ahead and start mounting things. So the cool thing about GIK Acoustic Panels is they all come with this picture wire. And now this picture wire is all you need to mount it. So the first thing we're gonna do is make sure we're on the top, which we are because our GIK Acoustic logo is at the top on the other side. So this is obviously the top. I mean, you could use it at the bottom. It really wouldn't matter, I don't think, for these panels. But now we're gonna take this guy and we're gonna thread it through each of the eyelets over here. So to do this, we're gonna make a loop here. So you can see I've got a loop at the bottom here, or the top here, and I've got the 2 pieces here. I'm gonna thread the loop through, and then I'm gonna take the loose end and thread it through the loop. And in theory, this will make a nice, tight, little grabber. Perfect, that works great. Now I'm gonna put it so that way it's all the way at the end here. Great. Oh, you guys can't even see that, I'm sorry. But now it's at the end here. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna twist this around a bunch. Now the twisting, apparently this just helps to keep it secure and stable, which isn't bad for me, I don't mind that. Cool, and now we're gonna do the other side. Now the other side, which I've learned from experience, is that we're not gonna twist it as tight as this one was, or really get it nice and tight, because we may need to modify that to get the height we want. So let's go ahead now, we'll do the other side. So same thing here, we're gonna take our loop, I'm gonna get actually a little smaller one here. I'm gonna take our loop at the top here, and our ends at the bottom, put them through this bad boy. Take this, go through here, get that nice and tight, make sure it's at the pinnacle, or I guess the part where it's gonna hold all the weight, which is right there. And I'm gonna leave that just like that. So that's only got one little tie here. I'll show you a little close up. So you can see that. It just got one little tie on it, that's it. So now the test here is how it'll mount. And as you can see, it's way too long. That's why I only do one side. I probably could have guessed that, but I wanted to show you the mistakes that I usually make. I'm kidding, I didn't plan for that. I just went at it and realized it's too small. So now we're gonna undo this side and make it a little smaller. Okay, and now we can see it hangs about right here. So now we can go ahead and take out our hook and make sure it's gonna work out okay. So these guys, pretty simple process. Just grab a hook right here, put it on it, and just kind of hang it and see, okay, so clearly we're gonna be okay because there's enough clearance in here to put the hook, and we've got enough room right here. All right. So that's the easy part. Now we're gonna get on to the hard part. So now what we have to do is use our tape measure, right there, and measure the difference between the top of where the nail goes in inside the mount to the top of the panel. And that's gonna show us how low we need to get it from the top of our ideal height. So basically, your ideal height is where you want it, and then just reduce it by this amount. So I'm just gonna measure here, and actually I'm just gonna take from the top down. All right, it looks like we're about 2 1/4, right in between 2 1/4. And ultimately, I'm fully prepared to rejigger this nail, this wire if I have to. I usually have to do it a bunch of times. Rejigger, is that a word? Rejigger? I don't even think jigger is a word. But I'm fully prepared to do this a couple different times. All right, so now we're gonna try to mount the first one here. Okay, so we know the panels are 24 inches wide. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna measure 12 inches out, because that's dead center of the panels. And maybe I'll do, yeah, 12 inches out, and then I'll put the center of this on that 12 inches. So let's go ahead and do that first. So there's 12 inches, And I'll put this right here, right at the top, so I can go ahead and just measure that. Right there, and then I know I'm gonna have to drop it down about 2¼ inches like I talked about earlier, right? So this is where that measurement comes in. So that's the top, and I'm gonna drop it down 2¼ Now again, this isn't exact science. You can use the picture wire to do this, but this is just kind of a starting out point. 1 nail done. 2 nails done. Okay, so now here comes the moment of truth. If I measured correctly, probably didn't, but at least I can try. We're simply gonna take the string, find the hook, and let her drop down. That's pretty darn good, actually. Look. It's a little low, but I'll take that. Overall, it looks pretty good. It looks nice and flush, which is kind of the goal I wanted here. Boom. That looks great. Obviously, we gotta rejigger the wire a little bit, but I'm super stoked we did that. That's awesome for a first try. Never has happened before in the history of doing the studio. I caught it on tape. Yes! Okay, so like I said earlier, we're just gonna do some cleanup now. I've got some extra wire I just need to wrap around. So once we wrap this around, this guy will be done. Okay, so now we have 3 walls of panels. I can hang more toys right here. I'm pretty stoked on that. Now we're gonna do a little magic trick on the other side. You ready? As you can see, there is currently no panel. Now I'm gonna follow the same steps I did in the previous panel. 1, take out the wire. 2, put one wire nice and firm on one side of the eye hook. Take the other eye hook and make it a little bit looser because I know I might have to manage it. 3, take the center of the wire, add the little hook to it, pull it up. From there, double check to make sure that it's nice and tight, and take a measuring tape and measure from the holes of the hook to the top of the unit. 4, measure where you want and reduce the total from the total height. So you take however many inches that is, minus the inches. In our previous example, it was 2¼ 5, mount the dang thing. 6, review and see if you have to do anything else to it. So now here's the magic trick. I gotta step aside for it. Here's the magic trick. No panel. Panel! Did a pretty good job. This one looks a little higher. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm not really tripping. I think it's pretty good. And also, when you have 3 stacked, you can kind of wiggle them around to get what you want. So I'm not too worried about that. So now we've got 3 and 3. You can see there's a little bit of spacing down here too. If I can close that up a little bit. Yeah, and sometimes they're not exactly perfect squares. Like I think this side is more perfect squares or rectangles than these are, but overall I'm pretty happy with it. They'll sit and they'll get to where they want to be. So now we've got full coverage on each side of the room, which I am pretty excited for. I don't think the camera's gonna be able to get that. But 3 and 3. And eventually we'll add more, we'll do more with it, but for now, that's everything I wanted to cover in this video. So thank you so much for watching. Again, huge thank you to GIK Acoustics and to James Lindenschmidt for all of his help. Leave me a comment if you guys have any questions about sound treatment. I don't know much about it, but maybe I can help you. But the goal, nice and dull, just like that. That sounded awesome. So yeah, hope you guys like this video, subscribe, and I'll leave you with some random footage of me hammering or something. Peace.